Hey guys, welcome back to Attachment Authority, episode 4, presented by Jesse Rass with Jesse Rass Enterprises. Hope everybody's having a great day today. I know I am, boy. That daggone $5 diesel fuel ain't no joke right now, man. We really got to get some attachments and put some money in our pockets, man. We can't afford to be running around like that for no reason now. We got to make our buys very successful and make them cost effective, okay? So we'll get into it. So today, my main focus is going to be on three different items. A box blade, a land leveler or land plane, some pull type box blades as well. I'm going to start off with some smaller units to talk about the basics. Then I'm going to move into some bigger pull type units on the box blade side. And then we're also going to end with pallet forks and talk about those. Our main focus with this podcast is to focus on contractors, people that are doing land management, property management, farmers, dealers, dealer sales guys, a little bit of everybody, man. Everybody's welcome here, man. And good morning. Hope everybody's having a great day. So we'll get into it. The first item we're going to talk about is the land leveler versus the box blade. What are the differences? Do I need a land leveler? Do I need a box blade? Okay. Well, right here we have a land leveler. Okay. These units come anywhere from 48 inches all the way up to 96 inches, as you can see on my screen right here. Well, you can't see the inches, but you can see what I'm talking about here. So when is it needed to have a land leveler or grading scraper? This is designed for material to flow through the unit. It's really when you have property that's kind of already prepped and it's already been graded, you know what I mean, by a box blade, and it's more of a tool to maintain the level of it. It has a 2-blade system, angled, and it has an option of scar firing teeth on there. So this is kind of for a guy that is not as needing to grade his property, but more so just to keep it level. For a rock driveway, for a dirt road that's already been leveled, and you just want to maintain that, let that material flow through it and keep it level. It's more forgiving, It's not as aggressive of a unit. These units do come anywhere from 48, 60, 72, 84, 96. The blades on them, you want to talk about the blades when you're looking at these kind of units, man. They come with a hardened edge on there. Are they reversible? Between this manufacturer right here, they are reversible and replaceable. You need to also look at, can the blades, front and back blades be adjustable up and down? Because these blades are going to wear, man. As you go through material or go over ground, it's a hardened steel edge, but it don't matter. They're still going to wear. So having this adjustment here on the side is nice to, as you wear, you can kind of move the unit and set the depth right there. So a land plane, land leveler like that is really going to be for a guy that is just trying to smooth surfaces, for lack of a better word. He's not trying to move dirt, But man, I love a land leveler, man. I really do personally. I mean, you can hook to it and rock and roll. You really can't do no damage. I mean, you just rock and roll, set it and go, set it and forget it. You just let it rock and roll. So anyway, so that's basically the basics of a land leveler or land plane. When determining which one you want. So you got to think about the width as well. What do you need based on your tractor? They don't take a lot of horsepower to pull, 25 to 65 horsepower, Now we make one of the biggest ones, or Befco makes one of the biggest ones in the industry, a 96 inch. That's a pretty wide unit right there. So, and also ask the questions, are they quick hitch compatible? You know what I'm saying? I mean, when nowadays all the new tractors out there, there's a lot of quick hitch stuff out there, and if you're unhooking and hooking from items, it's really nice to have that quick hitch compatibility. That's a big deal. So you can just back up hook to it and go on and get your property done. Okay, so that is a land leveler, land plane right there. You can kind of see right here how it's got the material flowing through the unit, how it works. It doesn't box it up like a box blade. Okay. So going to our box blades here. This is a typical box blade you see right here. This unit right here is designed to move dirt, as with the box right there, to fill in holes. It's when you're if you're trying to make a new road, you know what I mean? And it's the terrain's up and down, and you've got to truly carry that dirt and level it as you go, and carry that dirt with you and fill the potholes as you're going, on rough terrain. They come in multiple different sizes. Box blades do. They're going to come in 48 all the way up to 84, Now, there are bigger ones, which I'll get into here shortly. But box blades are pretty simple. They do have an edge on them. You can see, you got a edge right here on the back and one on the front. So they're replaceable. That's a big deal. They can fit, category 1, category 2 hookups, those are questions you need to ask when buying a box blade, So that's a basic box blade from Bevco right there, and it also has this one has the scar firing teeth on it. Which what do the scar firing teeth do? You also saw that on my last land leveler. That helps break some of the soil up, so it's easier for it to move. Okay, so especially in a grading application, those scar firing teeth help break that hard pan up, so that dirt is more loose, so you can move it. You can't move stuff that you can't break up. It didn't break it up. It just helps you a little bit. So that's a box blade. I think you understand now between the difference. You need to be a little bit more educated when you're running a box blade as far as like how it works. You can do some damage with a box blade, man. You can screw up a road, to be honest. Like I've done it. I mean, I've got on here at the farm here, man. We've got a pull type land leveler. We've got a land plane, and we've got a little old motor grader we bought. Right, we thought we were gonna have a motor grader and do it. Well, anyway, with the blade and the motor grader, sometimes we mess up more than what we do good. So in that application, a grading scraper sometimes is all we ever need. But listen, I'll say this, in turn, there are opportunities out there where you need both, man. Maybe you want to build your roads and scrape it, and you got holes and you need a box blade for that. And then when you're done, you want to manage it, then you go with your grading scraper. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you get a grading scraper, you will never think twice again about buying, a box blade, unless you have to have it. You know what I mean? But they both have their place. Don't let me get off track there. They have their place. Box blade, filling in holes. Grading scraper, more for leveling gravel, leveling roads that are already level. It's just managing them, So that's the basics of a basic box blade, basic grading scraper. Obviously, I have these on my website, Jesse Rass Enterprises. You can check them out. But I want to talk to you about these are some small subcompact weekend warrior up to 100 horsepower units. Now, I offer another line, or I have another line to show you. Now we make some big stuff. So if you're doing some big land clearing, or not land clearing, but some big grading jobs, you need to really check out this group right here. This is S-Hool, and they're out of Canada, but they make some large land levelers, as you can see in the field right here. I want a land leveler box blade hybrid, I guess you'll call it. But I'm going to get down here to them real quick, because I really want you to see this. And I think this is a big deal when it comes to having a blade and how the design is of it. So as soon as I can get here to it, I'm almost there. But, okay, so let's go with, there's a box blade right here, pull type units. Okay, so you can get, I showed you before, you can go with a 3-point hitch version, which you have to you have to adjust your 3-point hitch as you're going, which makes it a little bit more tedious for you to fill in them holes. Or you can go with a pull type box blade like you see on here, which kind of follows the contour of the ground better, and it floats. It doesn't it floats with you across the ground versus duck walking on you. You with me when you're pulling it? We offer these with walking tandems or just regular wheels. Now with SO product line, we actually can take the blade and we can tilt it horizontally left and right, which is a big deal, so you can almost crown a road with it. You follow me? This is our HLL series. They go from 10 to 12 foot units. I sell these to a lot of contractors. We offer them with scarf iron teeth, but a lot of 8 foot, a lot of 10 foot, 12 foot. It just depends on what you got to work with, what kind of road you're doing. How 12 foot's a lot to pull down the road. You got to think about that. Are you going to be on the job site with this unit? Or are you going to be pulling it from location to location? 10 foot's primarily here in the Southeast United States are our main sellers due to our roads and how we got everything. So check out the HLL 10 with S-Houle, SHOULE. That's on my website there. Now, if you want to get into the big stuff, we go with our our big boys here, our LNS series, SLN series. Big stuff right here. So this is the big boys right here. Walking tandems on the back, tilt. Man, you can put GPS units on these deals. You can put laser systems, laser guidance on these things. I mean, they are tanks for land leveling. They're high-speed land leveling box blades, okay? And I'll tell you, the design of a box blade has a lot to do with it. So on the S-Houle product line, when you pull this blade, it's typically, it's a big blade, but you can use a little less horsepower than you think to pull it due to the design of how it pulls. If I can show you a picture of how it pulls here. So you can kind of see on this, let's see if I can get a better picture here, but how it hooks right here, you can see right here, on sides like that. So what that does is, when you're pulling a box blade, you don't want it to duck walk on you. You want that dirt to roll. You with me? When it can roll, that means you can move faster. You with me? So we make these things all the way from these 12 foot, 14, 16 foot models, and we go all the way up to 18 foot, and I think our biggest one is 24 foot. So these are really for guys that are truly grading, large areas. You got to get your GPS system. If you're going to run something like John Deere, you're probably going to have to run. I'm trying to think of the I think it's called. It's not Green Star. That's what we'd use in the planting world. But TerraGrade, I think, is the John Deere, and don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure TerraGrade is the software you'd use if you had a John Deere machine now. Trimble offers different things. There's a lot of things out there. I don't want to name drop on that. I'm not into that game. But or we got laser systems, Laser systems mean we put the post up here, like there. That's for a GPS setup right there. But if you want to go with if you're not doing, so GPS leveling is really for guys that are doing large areas, If you go with laser is more localized, so you'd put up the tripod for the laser in the field, and then you would grade it based on that, and it would have 2 poles on it, So we offer the poles for both of that, all 3 poles, either one on this side, one on this side, or one in the middle for your GPS. So you'll have to determine. If you're doing big, large properties, you may need the GPS. If you're doing something small, then maybe all you need is a laser. If you're doing smaller applications, if bigger, you need that GPS. And the software. But I mean that software and stuff gets pretty expensive. Laser, you can get them for pretty affordable pricing. But that's just to show you, subcompact models. grading scrapers for typical property guys, but I just wanted to throw in here the bigger stuff for you contractor guys that are having to put a 3% grade on something. Even big farmers. We've sold some of these out in Eastern North Carolina. Dealer of mine, BNS Enterprises, they do a good bit of that out in the eastern part of North Carolina where that ground's really flat, and they got to put a little grade on it to get that water washed off with all that organic ground out there. So that's our land levelers right there. In general, land levelers / that's a box blade. I keep saying land leveler, but that is a box blade land leveler hybrid right there, pull type unit. So you can get, so in closing with the box blades, you can get a 3-point hitch box blade. You can get a pull type box blade land leveler, and then you get a straight up land plane like the 3-point hitch units that are not really designed for moving dirt, but more for giving. If you got property that's already got roads that are pretty level, then all you ever need is a grading scraper land plane. And if you have any questions or you get a little confused about how I'm talking about these, just give me a call at 803-420-4102 or check out my website at jessierassenterprises.com. Okay. The last thing on the agenda I have for you is pallet forks. I wanted to go into pallet forks a little bit here. Pallet forks are a big deal. We've talked about that some, but you get pallet forks in all different sizes, all different lengths. Pallet forks are I think everybody needs a set of pallet forks. There's no way you don't. I mean, if you got property or you're a contractor, you're a farmer, you're an end user, you just got you got a small tractor and you want to lift stuff, man, you need a set of pallet forks. For anything, 30, 40 horsepower, 50 horsepower tractor, subcompact, unit will work. Typically those are 2,200 pound forks. Okay. They usually have 42-inch tines. Now, if you have a larger frame unit, a larger tractor, you're going to go with a 4,200 pound fork up to 100 horsepower, depending on your lift capacity, Now, like I've said before in our last episodes about getting the right pallet fork for you, that's a big deal. We offer pallet forks that have different lengths. So you can get them in a 42, you can get them in a 48 length, as far as the tine length right here, okay? And why is that? Why is the tine length a big deal? Well, the tine length is a big deal because it allows, if you've got a pallet that's, longer than, 42, 48 inches or whatever, then... Well, if it's a 48-inch pallet and you have a 42-inch fork, then you go get it. Like I said in my last videos, it tips on you, man, and that's aggravating, I found out that longer is better when it comes to pallet forks, okay? Because it's aggravating. You don't want to go over the top long because sometimes you can go stick in there, and then if you had something behind there, the pallet fork would stick in there, but hit whatever's behind there. But if you have them too short, it's aggravating. It really is aggravating. Now, if you got a big skid steer, we got what we call a heavy lift pallet fork. They go up to 6,400 pound capacity. They go all the way up to 96 inches, So, that's a big deal, picking out a pallet fork for your application. Now, I'll say this. A 96-inch fork is not the most fun fork to move on a mechanical, not mechanical, but when you got to move them manually. So, in our pallet forks right here. So when you move these forks, you got to physically get out of the tractor, go down and pick these big heavy forks up and slide them in to get the right distance to run on a pallet or whatever you're trying to pick up. Maybe you're trying to pick up a pallet. Maybe you're trying to pick up a tote of fertilizer. Maybe you're trying to pick up, a pallet of concrete. Maybe you're trying to pick up the front of your side-by-side because you got to change the daggum tires, Maybe you're just trying to tie a strap onto these right here and pick up, just something out the back of your pickup truck, Pallet forks are so useful, they really are so useful. So that's a big deal with pallet forks. And we can put any kind of hitch on a pallet fork when you're talking to your dealer. We can put a skid steer hitch. We can put a 4-500 carrier with a John Deere. We can put a Euro style hookup on it. So it doesn't really matter. Even loaders, it doesn't matter if you got a just a regular loader and you need a custom set of pallet forks to fit that. We can do that as well. So there's a lot of things we can do. With this particular line, Cal 4 out of Lenore, they have an 18-month warranty on all their pallet forks. So ask when you're talking about pallet forks, ask your dealer about that warranty. Asking them about the length of tines, they have to offer. Ask them about lifting capacity. Ask them what your tractor can lift or what your skid steer can lift. Don't go overboard. Don't go underboard. Kind of be where you need to be. If you can pick up 2,000 pounds, then get you a 2,200 pound set of forks. If you can pick up, 1,000 pounds, don't get a 4,200 pound set of forks. That's just a waste of your time. And money. So think about that. Okay, on another note, though, like I talked about moving forks in and out, like that's aggravating, like to me. I've said this before, pallet forks, if it's out there and you're in your cab of your tractor and it's raining, you're trying to unload something or whatever reason, man, it's muddy outside and you got to go over there, and it's all this area right here is maybe just over time gotten a little rusty and hard to move. That's a job, man, to move that stuff. So in that application, we offer a set of hydraulic pallet forks right there. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. If you ever get you a set of hydraulic pallet forks, I'm gonna say it again. You will never go the other way. Okay. They are the best thing since sliced bread. If you're running a skid steer, you have the hydraulic function already on the skid steer to move the forks in and out. So you do not have to get in the cab. Especially you guys that are running pallet forks on the daily, you know what I mean? Or even on the weekly, you want to go jump in that skid steer and move it in and out. But the biggest thing that pisses me off is when I got a load of equipment coming in and I got phone calls coming in, I got emails coming in, I got all this stuff going in, and I want to go run and unload that truck real quick, and I jump on the tractor or I jump on the lift, and I'm like, I get there and I got a funky pallet or something. I'm like, dang, I gotta go jump out of this stupid thing, change them, ruin my clothes, get grease all over me because if I have it greased, you know what I mean? And then I'll end up wiping it on my clothes just to move a dang pallet. When you can just save all that little bit of anxiety and just buy you a set of hydraulic pallet forks and push the button in the skid steer, or on the tractor you would use the third function remote like I've sold in my last videos, and it just moves them in and out, man. You just jump in the tractor, move them in and out what you need, set your product off, get out and rock and roll. So in this episode, just to kind of close this thing out here, we've gone over pallet forks, the different sizes, the different weight capacities, all that jazz. We've gone over land levelers. We've gone over box blades, all these items and what it entitles and what you may need for your property management. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Attachment Authority. You guys have a blessed one.